I have a slide deck, but I feel like some people are driving and not. I feel like I'm just going to talk to you, Nicole, okay? Okay. I have some fun facts to start it off. My first Instagram post was in 2012. So, you guys, been here a while. And my first Instagram story was in 2017. That's the year that it came out. And I was like, this is dumb. Instagram stories are stupid. It's changed everything. But then I started using it. Everything that Instagram gave us to play with, I played with it. I was down to play with it. I used it for my real estate business, like right off the bat. And so I've been in this space for a while, which is why I feel comfortable talking to you about it today. Okay, let me just pull up some of my notes. Um, all right. So I started this business. Let me clarify. I got my water in the summer of 2024. So it's been like a year and a half almost, not quite. That is not when my business started. I started my business way later. But I was so curious about the business. I got the water for the water. I was just only curious about the business. And I said, if I'm going to really, I love Instagram. I love posting. This is not hard for me. And if I'm really going to go all in with this online business, let me see how I like doing it. So I just started creating reels a lot very quickly just to get the hang of it to see if I liked it. And it was awkward and clunky and terrible in the beginning. And I posted two reels every day for weeks. What? Why? My poor friends. I don't know why people stuck in there, but people did. I still have to admit people. Um, okay. So, hi, Karen. So I'm posting Instagram reels constantly, and I'm just really what I had been doing was reposting like stories and other people's reels into my stories without putting my name or my face on anything. And so really I was just sort of recreating all the things I believed and valued and turning them into reels. And I did that for a while. And through that, I did talk about the water a little bit. And that's how I brought on my current business partners. But true story, Kendra's not in the room right now. The reason I really like went hard into hold on. The reason I really got excited about the business was because Kendra on our team was my guest at Dash to the Dashes. Nicole, you were there. Can you hear me, Nicole? Because Karen, can you turn off your, can you mute yourself? I got you, Karen. Nicole was at Dash to the Dashes this year. I had never been to an event before, but Kendra wanted to go. So Kendra sat next to Naomi and she was like, oh my gosh, this business is incredible. I want a quad. And I was like, you do? I was shocked. I never told her about the quad. I don't even have a quad. I'm like, you want to buy all that equipment? You're crazy. But I let her do it. And she fired me up. She was like, Lauren, why don't you talk about this business? I was like, oh, I mean, okay, I guess I'll start looking. It changed the way I thought about everything. So then I decided to pivot, and it took me a couple months, but then I rewired how I showed up on social media after I got all that practice of reels under my belt. Okay, so what I would have done differently looking back. So I call it, and you'll hear other people call it, that they start seasoning their account whenever they join Enagic. And I did that for so many months. And that is just really my form of procrastination. And I would challenge other people who are seasoning their accounts prior to mentioning the water or mentioning the business that likely they're just procrastinating and that nothing you're doing right now is just go, just do it. Like collapse the timeline. Above everything else, I also put a lot of emphasis into the training platform in True. And I think that that's valuable, but I would have rather been talking to people over the training platform. There was many nights when I just spent an hour in the training platform and I had gone the whole day without talking to one person. And I would go back to all those days, months and months and months, where I could have talked to hundreds and thousands of people over the training platform, which like I'm going to learn the answers eventually through, talking to you guys, through troubleshooting, through talking to leads. I would have shifted my priorities if I could go back and do it differently. I did not have an accountability buddy right off the bat because I didn't really want to do the business, but I would have also done that differently and I would have had more than one accountability buddy because everybody serves relationships differently and you never know who's going to inspire you or push you or align with you. And so I would have gone back and got an accountability buddy right off of the bat. I would have also taken my business seriously. And by that, I mean following a true DMO. And it doesn't have to be the one in the True platform, the one in the Live Well Collective. It doesn't have to be the GPM method, Nicole. It can be what you want it to be, but you have to talk to people. That is like above all else. It doesn't, if you walk 10K steps and if you posted a reel, great, but if you didn't talk to people, then we're missing the point. And I wish that somebody would have driven this home harder to me in the beginning. And you hear them say it over and over again, but it's like so true. Like if you're not talking to people, you really don't have a business. So those are the things that I would do differently. So currently my current DMO, and I'm not perfect, and every day is the life that I'm living and it comes and goes, but currently what works for me is I drink about 100 ounces of the water. I feel like we all do this. I try to learn something new. I don't say like I need to listen to a 30-minute podcast or I need to read 10 pages. I put no parameters on it because that makes it harder for me. Did I learn something new? Did I seek something new? Yes or no? Did I move my body? I don't need 10,000 steps a day, but did I go outside and get fresh air? Did I walk for at least 20 minutes? Cool. Yes. Did I post a reel? Did I post a trial reel? And I'll get into that a little bit later. Did I post in my stories? And above all else, did I generate 10 new leads? And did I follow up with 10 leads? So in a perfect day, I'm talking to 20 people. Nothing else matters if you're not talking to people. I do always try to do 10. 10 prospecting or 10 new leads and 10 follow-ups. Every day, do I have 20 people to talk to? No. Every day is like 2 a.m. and I'm like, do I really want to send this message? Yes, I do send really late messages to people, not text, but on social media apps. 10 new leads does feel like a lot, but this is the thing about that is like prospecting isn't just the people you know. You're not always just, hey, do you want to be interested in this business model, stranger that I don't know, or cousin that I barely talk to? Prospecting is as little as making a connection with somebody on a Facebook, on let's say you buy something on Facebook Market in your area and you bought a baby thing because you have a baby and this person also has babies. Like now you have a new lead and now you can make a connection with somebody. So it's not like as hardcore as that sounds, like make 10 new leads and pitch them the deal. Like that's great. And sometimes people do just need to get straight to the point. But making 10 new prospects doesn't have to look like pitching the business to them day one. All right.
Lauren,
Yeah.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what your typical cold outreach looks like. how I know you just said a lot of them are just like saying hi to someone, not talking about the business or the water at all. How many of them are just straight up like, hey, you look like you'd be a good fit? Or do you not do that at all?
I don't do that at all unless it's like a total stranger um who I rarely do that. Um I for a couple weeks I did that. I got nothing came of it. And so cold reach for me is like reaching out to the people who follow me on Instagram and thanking them for the follow. That's a cold outreach and that's a connection. And then if they write back, then like I'll follow up with them and I'll nurture that relationship. That's a prospect to me.
So how soon do you introduce like bringing up the water or the business?
So sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just have this relationship that's totally organic. And if they want to watch my stories and follow along, then I trust that like they're going to stay there and follow along and watch my stories. If what they're posting about, sometimes people are active and sometimes people are not active. So that can be like tricky, right? If they're active and they're aligning with me and it's organic to bring it up, they're talking about RO water. I might bring it up organically, but like currently I'm not cold outreaching with the business and that can change. I have a lot of leads from previous, work I've done. And so I work on them a lot and my new prospects are really at this point just new followers and nurturing relationships and seeing if they're and I'll pick up on things like if in their bio they're a mom, I always will tie that back into being a mom. If there's something that I can relate to, I always tie it back to building on our relationship. Does that help? A little bit, not really.
No, that does help. A lot of my outreaches are just like straight to the point, and I'm like, yeah, maybe that's what I'm doing.
And is it working? And it's like you have to do it a lot of times to see if it's working, right? And um
I
and,
do get like some response. Like I wouldn't say I'm not getting any response.
and cold outreach is different than like so when I paid ads going and then those leads come in, well then it's straight to the business, obviously. Like you clicked on my ad that's talking about a business. So it's a totally different script and those count towards my lead generation. But if I'm like scurrying to get some like random leads at night, and it might make sense to just do a cold pitch because I'm not just going to say hi to somebody randomly at night. Um, I am at the point in my business though where I have the time that I can be selective with what I say to whom I say it with. And a lot of us are at that point where we can genuinely follow up with people and have connections with this as many people as we have at our fingertips right now, right? Like when it gets bigger and Carly can't genuinely talk to every single person that comes on Team True. I mean, maybe she can on that sales call, but it's not like you and I who are watching everybody and learning about everybody. It's different. So, okay. Now I want to talk about what it looks like the shift from treating Instagram like I used to, like my personal page, just posting how I wanted to, and when I finally started treating it like a business and what that really looks like. When I treated it like it was not a business, I was posting for myself. So just selfishly posting for myself when I wanted to, there was no agenda. Reposting random stuff the moment it came up on my feed because it resonated with me right then in that moment. Oh, I need to repost this. I need to share this. I need to write about this. Just because I'm triggered in that moment by something that inspires me. And posting without storytelling. Not that your reels have to be storytelling, but if you're posting in your stories, you have to tell a story. I really don't think that they called it stories without having intentionality for us to utilize it as storytelling. When you guys do, when you see other people promoting products, when influencers have deals with other people, a lot of times the deal is you're going to talk about my deodorant in 3 slides once a month, and then you get my promo code or whatever. And you're like, 3 slides? I've talked about deodorant for 3 slides. Well, why is that? Well, it's because people have zero attention span and they just click quick. And if they click quick 3 times and they see the deodorant 3 times, it still is imprinting a little bit. Does that make sense? When you just say one thing one time without like elaborating it, like let's use an invite, the virtual day invite. If you do no build up to your story in your day in your 24-hour cycle, and it's food here, come to my virtual event, a still photo, just a still photo, and then maybe a little bit of food. What kind of story is that? What excitement, where did you take your audience? What a weird thing for your audience just to see a home cooked meal and then see a still frame of an invite. Super random, right? So when I start thinking about what my audience is, how my audience is digesting my story, how they see the way that I build it up, hand it to them on a silver platter after, you know, a couple of stories supporting what I'm going to share with them, it's a totally different ballgame. And if I show up and I'm just like random as F talking about dog food over here and then paint colors, unless, I have some sort of lifestyle brand or whatever, it's like very confusing for your audience in the way that they want to just consume and listen to you and be told, where to go, what to do. Hey, look, I have like this awesome live event coming up, but hold tight really a second because saying something like, I just did this with the last one. I was talking about money. So I said this like crazy money story, this true money story where somebody stole all this money from me. And then I was asking people how much money they need in a month. And so it's like money, we're talking about money, we're talking about money. And then it's like, here's this event that helps me in 2 sales make what you guys need. Because you told me in this poll, this is what you said. And I always get good attendance on those live events, by the way. But I never ever just randomly post one random slide without at least speaking about it. And you don't have to put your face on it like me, but like you can at least write a couple things, leading up to it. 3 story frames minimum if you're trying to get a point across. That's like the sales technique that we see over and over again. Okay, so I stopped posting for myself. I stopped posting randomly and I stopped posting without storytelling. So then I started posting for my audience or my avatar. I started posting through their eyes, through their journey. I started posting with a purpose. I didn't just come on in the morning and see one thing that intrigued me and reposted that. I stopped doing that. That was dumb. I stopped posting my kids. Nobody wants to see my kids. I want to see Rachel might want to see my kids. No, Nicole wants to see my kids. A couple of you guys want to see my kids. You guys are on my close friends list. And when there's a really cute kid pic, I'll post it to my close friends list. That's how I can still keep you guys like, um, in my family. But I have too many followers that I don't want people to see my kids anymore. Um, you're welcome, Rachel. What I also added is you have to be repetitive. You're not annoying, but people don't understand. And it takes a while to elaborate on what this is and what we're doing. And without being crazy wordy, You need to use more than one story frame to get your point across. I'm talking solely about posting stories on Instagram. I think that branding is really important, and branding people can't quite put their finger on it. But really what branding is me sitting here with this white background. I always am sitting here with a white background. Do I want to post sometimes in my car? Yeah, I do. But it's in my car and it doesn't make sense with my brand and it confuses people. And I've done it sometimes, but like I always wait, come back here, get my background, and this is me branding. The colors I use, the same font and the same colors I use in all my reels, that is me branding. The tone, branding. Nicole's always sitting there with that green artwork. That's branded. She's like, that's how we see Nicole. Karen with her artwork behind her, Rachel with her artwork behind her. That's like your brand. So I think that a lot of people just use random fonts, use random colors, use random frames, and it can be confusing to your audience, to your viewer who want to hear the story and want it, make it make sense for them. Consistency, which you guys always hear. I was always pretty consistent on Instagram, but I made a goal to post one reel a day, one trial reel a day, so that at any time I have so much content out there that there's just this ripple effect. You just start one day and just do it. Um, and if I didn't post all these on a whim reels, I wouldn't have all my viral reels are basically all on a whim. I just, no thought, put it together, throw it out there. Many viral reels. I've had a lot of success in that area. All because I just did it. I just put it together and I put it out there. I didn't like think about it. I didn't think what people would think. I just didn't really think too hard. And then last, I see a lot of people um, not being clear or easy to follow in their reels. And I think that I don't want to get lost in the matrix, and I don't love when people, scroll for hours. I obviously am not condone, don't want you to do that. But when you do scroll on the Explore page, it is very clear the type of content that is successful. And it's a message that is delivered clearly. A lot of the videos have like, the very first milliseconds with some action. But overall, nobody can't see. You don't get a viral reel where people are like, wait, what? Like, can I pause it? Can I screenshot it and make it bigger? Like, it's clear. You can read it, you can see it. And I think sometimes I see in our community just like too much verbiage. It's too small. It's too quick. I didn't even have time to read everything. I'm like, what's that about? I don't have time for that. Um, so I hope some of that helps. Here's some tips and tricks. Maybe I'll put this. How do I even share my screen? What do I do? I'm not gonna get into that right now. But if somebody wants to have this written down later, you're welcome to. Okay. This is from what I have found after posting over a year and a half consistently, is that for some reason, the B-roll footage that you guys use on a video, let's say here's the video and here's your text on your reel, this video that like you're not even, the sound isn't on, you have a different sound on top. Oftentimes, if this performed well, the one of the components is your video. Your B-roll footage is what we call it. Use that B-roll footage again and again and again and again and again, as many times as you want, with maybe different messages, with maybe altered message in your trial reels. You can recreate. If a B-roll footage was successful, use it again. No one cares. No one goes to your profile and is like, they used B-roll footage 3 times. Like, no one cares. This is like nothing to be embarrassed about. Use your B-roll footage again and again and again if it was successful. I have done this and I have a trial reel that has over 1 million views which is like pretty rare for me. How do you know it's successful? Laura, if you had a high performing reel, that's how you know it was successful. B-roll footage is the video melody behind the reel where there's like no sound on the reel. It's like somebody's cooking and their message is talking about food dyes. It's just what they're doing in the back. Mine is only recipes, the ones who get reviews and interactions. That's okay, Laura. I mean, if you're doing a recipe and you're doing a voiceover and what you're talking about is exactly what you're doing, your success is probably in like both of the components, but maybe your video was amazing and you can redo other videos. People talk over cooking videos all the time about different points. I should post the same recipe again and again. No, don't post the same recipe again and again. I mean, you can. Um, no, if something, yours is a little bit different. Um, what I mean is when you have when you're presenting an idea, there and there's a B-roll footage that doesn't have to do with what you're really talking about exactly. So, Laura, this does not really pertain to you, but you're not stuck. You're doing great. Keep pumping out recipe videos with videos of that recipe. That makes no sense for you to do otherwise. I'm talking about different kind of content creation, okay? Um, when you guys are on Instagram, sometimes it will suggest that you should create a reel out of a successful story that you posted. Has anybody ever seen that suggestion from Instagram? Rachel, when it says that, do it. That was my very first ever viral reel was because Instagram said people liked this story. You should make it into a reel. So I did. And it got, I don't know, 4 million views. So follow that suggestion. I've always continued to follow their suggestion. Not that you're going to have a viral reel, but it's based off of people liking a story. And if, a whole bunch of people liked your story, then likely a sea of other people will like it too. Slightly change. Okay. So who's using trial reels? If you're not, you just should because it's just free. All of this is just free advertising. Okay. So, Rachel, then you will. Okay. You're going to want to and you will. Is it to avail to? Yes. No, Melody, you don't need to go to Instagram class, but I'm happy to teach you on the side anything that you need. Karen, you really don't have the trial reel feature? Interesting. Um, I have some tips and
They,
tricks.
the guy, oh, what's it, Marossi or whatever his name is on Instagram, he said that they send it out, which doesn't make sense because I don't have over 1,000 followers. But he said in his stories that people with over 1,000 followers would get it first, and then they would trickle down. But like I have the option, and I don't have 1,000 followers, so I don't know why some people have it and why some people don't.
That's really dumb. Well, if you don't have the option, I'm really sorry, and I won't elaborate on this long, but this is this is some tricks that I have about trial reels. So trial reels is you go to upload a reel totally like normal, and then right before you send publish, you toggle a little button that says trial reel, and instead of going to your main feed and your main followers, it goes into the Explorer page to everybody who doesn't know you. Okay. Which is cool because it's a whole nother sea of people. So when things get really controversial in our news in America, I post really controversial things. Monty is now joining us. I will make a post with my thoughts, and I will put it into the trial reel area. And when somebody likes it, I friend them because I know that they agree with me on something pretty controversial. And those posts sometimes get a lot of hate, but I don't care because nobody sees it. They don't know me. I don't know them. But you could do that with like not, for some reason, I lean more towards political, controversial things, but you could do this with literally anything. Like, you could say like, tap water, throw up emoji. Am I right? Like something so dumb like that. And then like whoever likes that obviously doesn't like tap water either. So then you're like, oh, I don't know. Don't get like too crazy with this, but this is just a way that I have built, you know, more interactions with people, which like at the end of the day, that's my goal. Just as many interactions with people as I can.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah, yeah.
So when you do the trial reel, say this is not something, okay, let's take that political part out of it. Say it's like a reel that you like, you want to also try out for a trial reel. At any point, would you then also post it as a reel to your page for like your followers to see? Do you do both, or do you only keep like, do you only do your more controversial for trial and then leave your page as is, or have you ever done both? Does that make sense, my question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Instagram can identify when you have the exact same message going to two different places, and it doesn't like that. So it will like flag it and not push it. So your trick is, um, and I'll just get into this next thing. This is what I have found to be very, very helpful. If I have a reel, whether it's in trial reel or on my main page, that like I got a lot of followers or it got a lot of views, I will take it, change it up ever so slightly, but the same, basically everything, like same music, same B-roll, just ever so slightly different text. And I will repost that wherever it didn't come from. Like I'm not going to repost it again on my page, but I'll repost it in trial reels. Like again and again and again and again and again. Because if this brought me people, then likely that same message will bring me more people. And in my theory of this, it has worked. So sometimes I'll just like get super creative and I'll put like 10 trial reels out because I'm like, well, I have to put them in trial reels right now because I'm feeling creative. I just want to get it out there and I'm not going to post 10 actual reels. That's a lot. And then I'll go through looking at my analytics and I'll be like, well, that one hit. So now I can just change that ever so slightly and post that to my main feed. So it's like all the time I'm just kind of going like in and out and seeing what hit and what didn't hit. And the biggest thing I've learned is like there's something about this. If something went viral, there's something about the message, there's something about the B-roll, there's something about the collectiveness of it. And if I can duplicate that again, not exactly, but just tweak it ever so slightly in trial reels, it will perform well and I will continue to get followers. My suggestion for many chats, and Naomi does not agree with me on this, but ManyChats is the software where you use a prompt word or prompt emoji, and then you get a automated response. I really don't think anybody needs it until you have a viral reel. And then I don't think you need it until your viral reel makes sense for there to be a prompt. Does that make sense? If you had a reel that had like 5,000 views and then 10,000 and it's compounding quickly, you're getting a viral reel. What can you say to this viral reel that will make somebody comment a word? Is it a recipe? Is it a non-toxic guide? Is it more information on the water? isn't more information about a faith-based business? And then change your caption in your going viral reel and sync it up to mini chats. That's when I personally got mini chats. I didn't get it before then because I could just respond to everybody. But I certainly got it after viral reels. And with all my viral reels, I never had a mini chat set up in place. I always did it thereafter, giving somebody a free guide, telling somebody more about water, giving somebody a Costco list. I just made them up. I made it made sense. And then all these people participate, and then guess what? You have all these leads. That's my recipe for mini chats. I never ever put out posts anymore that have like a mini chats prompt with a chat GPT generated caption. Every time I've ever done that, crickets, like worst views ever. I just find that I think that the algorithm knows better, and I think you got to stop using ChatGPT for your captions. Like you just use it to be a sounding board and like get ideas and maybe refurbish something that you're trying to say, but don't just take it straight from there and copy and paste. I've never had success doing that. All right. I'm moving on to how I use Instagram. You guys know that I post some controversial stuff right now, and just know right now, over the, time that we've known each other, um, I just block people so fast. It's like it doesn't make any sense not to. I have no space for that, and like permission for you to do that too. When I very first started posting reels, the most random people would like come and comment, like one comment, just one comment from Mary. And she's like mean. And I'm like, what'd you come here to be mean for? Like, I'm just trying. And then it's like, oh, you get kind of down and you're like, maybe I won't post again. But no, Mary's not going to keep us down. Okay. We're just going to block Mary and we're going to go on. My husband always reminds me that Russia is in Instagram and they are just trying to divide us. And so I really think like some guy might be from Russia on Instagram being paid to just be mean to people. Probably not, but also maybe. Okay, maybe. I also mute a lot of people. Um, I mute people's stories and reels if they post a lot because I get sucked into this app just like we all do because that's what it's meant for. And if I have people muted, then I just get sucked in less. There's just less content that like I really am so intentional about what is on my feed and who I'm scrolling through. You mute by going to the person's profile, and I think you just you just go to the person and there must be an edit button and then you can mute their stories, their posts and their little bubble. What's that called? Like when you're scrolling through people's stories, they have like a little bubble that might be like offer ending offer ending tomorrow, and you can mute those too. Every time I like kind of come out of a new season, I will go into my Instagram friends and I will get rid of a lot of accounts. Like if I'm no longer pregnant, I don't need to follow the pregnant account anymore. If if I was pregnant, then I would like go back and like change that up. That's just one example, but like water is no different. So like do I want to follow some accounts where I learn a little bit about water? Yes. Okay. Do I want to follow some Ray Higdon people right now? Absolutely. Do I want to follow some certified closers and like hear scripts over and over? Absolutely. I'll follow those people. But like right now, I don't really need all these other accounts that served me in the past. And I will cater it to what I need in this moment. And I'm talking about business. And like there might be some like marriage stuff or like some faith-based stuff that's just for me personally, but like at the end of the day, if what I saw on Instagram while I was like lost in the sauce, if it was inspirational, motivational, and I learned something, then it's not a loss. That's how I view it anyways. But if I'm just seeing 100 people from Team True post about their healing journey, What am I getting out of that? No offense, but so many people are muted because it's like I can't look at that all day. It's great. It's great to have like new friendships and stuff, but 100 people, I'm like, oh, a new follower. Oh, they're on Team True. Great. Um, okay. That was sort of the conclusion of what the bulk of everything I wanted to get to, but I'm happy if you have more specific questions to help you answer some stuff. Hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, Nicole.
I was hoping to learn about some metrics that you look at in Instagram. I know that you are really good at the app, like looking in there to
Yeah.
like what do you look at that helps you like figure out how you're doing?
You have a business account, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when I go to a post and I go to view insight, you do it with me. Um, this is how I know how many people have gone to my profile or followed me, how many saves or reshares or likes or all that stuff, right? That has all that analytic. And I really look at like not much. I mean, a lot of this is interesting. Um, but if one is which one gave me the most followers? That's really what I want to look at. And that's profile activity. And then that's the one I'll spend more time on.
So if you look at this regularly, you kind of get an idea of your own sort of metrics because when I look
Yeah,
at
I
this,
mean,
um,
the views, um, it's like if you're just, a littler account and your views are really similar, and they're probably all like very similar, right? So what is your bigger question?
it's just in the past, I've heard you talk about metrics or something. And I was like, oh, what's that? Or where's that? Or like, I was thinking, like, what does Lauren look at? Like, what guides her in, this business account? And, what I do is I go to that professional dashboard and then I just poke
Hmm.
around and I look at the content you shared and I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of poke around. So I
Yeah,
thought, I wonder if Lauren has like specific things that she watches and knows and like what's her that's just kind of what I was wondering. But if you kind of do the same, then that's fine. I don't have like a real specific question. I was just wondering kind of what your process was.
I just poke around too, but I'm not keeping track of anything. And I'm not
Okay.
like, I don't have some secret, conversion, some, calculation I'm doing that makes me think something is better than something not. Like, I really base an emphasis on my views and my follows. Those are really the only metrics that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you do go to your professional dashboard, the where was it? The trending audio is down there, but I feel like sometimes that's even different than the other suggested trending audio. There's actually a lot of tools and resources in this, by the way. Um, and then have you guys noticed that you get a monthly recap now? So like we all just the other day should have gotten our October one and it'll kind of go through. I feel like that's kind of cool to tell you where you achieved, more success. It's all a crapshoot though at the end of the day. I will say. I will absolutely say like Instagram is annoying. It's such a joke. It's like something hits and something doesn't, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's just this is why you have to be consistent because if you're not putting stuff out there, then it'll never hit. It'll never be junk. It'll never be great, right? It'll just sit there. but just put it out there. Um, and just, make it at least like decent. A little, you're a little proud of it. Don't just put crap out there. But truly, like the name of the game is consistency because you just never know. And if we all knew, then we would all be million followers plus, right? Like who cares? Who else? Anybody else?
I'll ask something.
Hi, girl.
Hi, I'm alive. Um, so whenever you look at your insights on it and you see that you've got a lot of followers or likes or whatever views on your profile page, then those are the ones that you'll usually go in and like tweak like a word or two on it and then post it to whatever you didn't, right? Like your,
Yes,
okay.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay, because I didn't know what you were just talking about because what I've been doing forever is Um, and this was just something that I saw, and I'm kind of the same. I only follow people that I learn things from. But there's this girl that I follow, and when trial reels first came out, she was saying like post it to both, like post it to trial and also post it to your thing. So I've been doing that forever. But it's interesting that you said that it doesn't like that because I've been posting. So basically, what she said was like just save it to your drafts, duplicate it, and then send one to your trial and one to your page. And so I've
Yeah,
been doing that literally forever. And so, I mean, some of them do hit, and some of them, I mean, like some of them have and some of them like don't, but yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that like it didn't like that.
that's what they told us months ago when it first rolled out was to do that. And but recently they've changed it because they want original. Instagram has said in, press releases or whatever that they want you to post authentic, genuine, original content, not with some HD camera, not with some drone footage, that they want you folding your laundry, Natalie. They want you just sitting there and having an original idea and an original thought, and they favor that. And when you go through the Explore page and you see there's so many small accounts with reels that go viral, it happens constantly, all the time. More small accounts have viral reels and are easy to find on the Explorer page than like large accounts sometimes. And that is a product of what Instagram has said that they just want to honor and have original content, relatable content. Like whenever you guys are thinking something or you have an idea, you're not alone. Put that in your notes. If you can make it into a reel, turn it into a reel when you feel inspired. I have notes. I don't just sit there, stop and make a reel. I can't. I have kids, but I have ideas and I put them in my notes app. I have to do it so quick or else it's just out of my brain. And then I go back to my notes pad if I need inspiration and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was going to do something with this. And oh, I can find a B-roll footage for that. And throughout my day, if there's something beautiful or something cool that my kids are doing, I'll film it. Not with the intention that I'm going to make a reel with that in that moment. I just film things throughout my day. And then I've, cataloged all these B-roll footages that are all kind of the same, like it's in my house and it's in Texas and um it's all kind of cohesive for the most part. I've got some random stuff. Melody, funny videos to get followers. Yeah, why not? Of course. That sounds great. I want to watch funny videos. I don't want to watch sad stuff, right? Who wants to watch sad stuff? I just said that and then it goes, Melody left.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, when you say not to use Chat GPT, so are you saying like don't talk to Chat GPT and say, give me a caption for this real idea that Chat GPT came up with? Or are like how I use Chat GPT is I talk to it as though like I'm literally talking to you. I am long.
If you can hear me, you froze. Can you chat? Oh, there you
That
go.
sorry. So I speak to ChatGPT like I would hold a conversation, and then I say, minimize this for a caption for a reel. Is that acceptable, or should I put my caption like I would talk to somebody?
Ask ChatGPT to minimize it, and then take that and then write it out of your mouth.
Okay.
Do not copy and paste.
Okay.
Go, oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to move that word around a little bit. Rachel doesn't talk like ChatGPT. You need to talk like Rachel.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I hope that this helped you guys a little bit insider into my tips and tricks. But above all, you need to talk to people. Okay? Hopefully that's what you really learned. All right, you guys, adios. Love you all. Have a great one. Thanks for being here and supporting me.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lauren.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.